Hey, classmates, this is Deanna.
Hey guys, this is Brett. Welcome back to Hard Lessons, True Crime, and Paranormal Podcast.
That's a mouthful.
That is a mouthful. I'm about to just start saying Hard Lessons TCP, like our Facebook page.
There you go.
Surely after 43 episodes, folks know who he is. You would think, right?
You would think.
So, Teach, how was your week?
I'm settling in. It's usually a good 2.5, 3 weeks of utter panic and anxiety.
It's a lot earlier this year than normal, I'm proud to say.
I think that's because, I have my groove down. I mean, I know my stuff.
Yeah.
And so it's easier that way. It's just now getting used to and being able to start planning with the teachers.
Sure.
So
Getting it all smoothed
it's going to
out.
smooth out and things are going to go great for this year.
It's off to a good start.
It is. It really is.
I'm proud for you.
Compared to other years.
Right.
Can't say it wasn't stressful this week, but
Had its moments.
But keeping up with college, keeping up with work. So, everything's good. How about yours?
It was a somber week.
Somber, kind of like,
Well,
it was going.
yeah, and had two really close folks to me pass away this week in a tragic way. And we said see you after a while to them yesterday. So
Two good people right there.
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Well loved, well deserved.
Absolutely.
It was a good service for the two of them, and I liked what the man that was speaking said when he said they're not in our past, they're in our future. So
I wrote that down because that was pretty good.
well, I'd never thought of it that way.
Me neither. I mean, it's gonna help. Maybe it'll help start that grieving path. And if they can keep their eye on it, it's just for a little while.
Just for a bit, just for a bit. Absolutely. So you ready for the more you know?
Yes, because it's gonna go in that itty bitty tiny filing cabinet in my head that I don't even know where it's at.
This one's gonna stick with you.
Okay.
Do you like festivals?
Yes, I do.
Do you like traveling, say to foreign countries?
Well, I've never been to a foreign country, but yes, I would absolutely go. Pack my bags.
So maybe some point in time you would care to go to the Bokdraw Spoig Festival in South Africa?
I'm gonna need more details because what they doing?
Well, it's a sport in Africa, and it became an official sport in 1994. And it is so popular over there that it now has its own festival.
Okay. Again.
So the sport of Bokdraw Spoeg, Spoeg. I'll watch the YouTube video 4 or 5 times, and I'm still going to have issues with how to say it. Basically, that is translated into the Kudu Antelope Dung Spitting Contest.
Yeah, no. No. Are you supposed to put the dung in your mouth and spit it?
Put the dung in your mouth, chew it up a bit, and then you spit it.
Although I can spit pretty good.
The world record is by Sean van Rensburg of South Africa of 51 feet.
You can't be that far.
Yeah. Apparently, kudu antelope are difficult to hunt, but also not the smartest animal in the world because they leave a trail of poop behind them. So, well, how y'all finding me? From the trail of poop.
Okay, I'm out. I don't even
But
want to go see this nasty thing.
right, right. So that is the more you know that there's a festival and a sport that is so beloved that they put crap in their mouth and spit it. I think that would be a natural reaction. Reminded me of the young man I used to work with at Hunting Titan here in town.
Yes, I know his name.
Yeah.
Like the maple syrup with that.
Maple syrup will make anything taste good. That's a story for another day. I have a feeling that this episode is going to make Teach squeamish anyhow. So I don't want to get her too squeamish before we start.
Okay.
So are you ready to start?
I'm ready. Class begins.
So it's been a hard couple of weeks. We've done a couple of hard episodes with Molly Dish and her unsolved case, and then last week with Amber Smith and everything that she went through.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you drew out uh, host choice last week, I was like, let's do something a little lighthearted. Let's do something a little easy on the old census. And this is actually a topic that I have been wanting to cover for a while because it is something that I have been interested in forever.
I just saw the title.
Well, you're not supposed to look.
Maybe you should sit across from me.
And so today we are going to be talking about medieval torture methods.
It says ancient.
Yeah, I couldn't think of the word medieval.
Well, both are ancient, so
Yeah.
on the right track.
Silly.
Different time periods.
Yeah. So medieval. So the first one we're going to discuss is keel hauling.
Keel hauling. Is that anything to do with the feet?
No. Well, kind of, but not really.
Okay.
So the keel of a boat is the underneath side.
Oh no, is that where they put them on there?
So
row the boat or whatever.
The idea comes to us from the 16th century Dutch Navy.
Okay.
Offenders would be tied with rope at their hands and their feet, so feet are involved.
Okay.
And they are dragged underwater from one end of the boat to the next.
Keel hauling.
Keel hauling.
How do they know that they're going to be underneath the boat?
Well, the keel is the boat.
Oh, I bet they have. I bet they have like one person at the feet, one person at the head.
Well, and they're tied, and they have this pulley system, and it just
like a loop around the boat. Well, that's not what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Of course, and I was thinking
the whole length of it. So many drowned.
I couldn't go over because of the sails.
That's just true. That's true.
Okay, I'm trying to picture this. That you can't hold your breath that long.
Many drowned.
Imagine so, because what if something gets stuck?
Exactly. Many died from internal injuries, hitting up against the boat. Okay. I mean, those boats were long.
Yeah.
It wasn't just a little old fishing boat.
Okay.
Some did survive. And they carried scars with them for life from hitting the barnacles underneath the boat.
Gross. Ew, that would freak me out.
So.
How deep of water would they do this in?
They'd do it out in the middle of the ocean.
Holy cow.
Yes. Yeah.
There's things under there.
There is things under there. Nibbly bits.
Well, whatever it is that they did to get that, I would not do it. I would be like the best person on the boat.
Now, the most common method of torture from Asia to England in this time period was boiling. Man, I wish this was a video podcast. I told you it was going to be light. That's
terrible.
Don't do nothing to get boiled.
I would need to know the guidelines. I don't. don't venture over here. This is the boiling side.
Yeah.
I mean, that's gotta hurt. You can't get out.
The unlucky participant was stripped naked, so they didn't even have their clothes to protect them.
I just killed myself before I got in the pot.
And placed in a vat or a pot of boiling liquid, typically water, but occasionally oil or tar.
Oh my gosh, where did these people come up with these demented ideas? Torture could be that you're eating in front of them. I mean, that's torture.
That's torture for somebody that's hungry. Exactly.
Oh my gosh.
Now, if this wasn't...
No. Oh.
Could you imagine?
Oh my gosh.
If this wasn't harsh enough, if they wanted to be extra gruesome, they would be placed in a cool liquid, and then it would be heated to boiling.
How long would it take for someone to perish in this boiling?
Records from King Henry VIII. I'm glad you asked, because my next bullet. Records from King Henry that he kept.
He was demented.
He was. Showed that it could take up to 2 hours.
No, the crap not.
I just stick my head under there and breathe it in.
Yeah, I mean, especially if it was already hot. Nope. 3rd-degree burns immediately.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then it just goes boom.
And what if they lowered you into it, like feet first or even head first, but they did it very slowly?
I don't know. He's terrible. It's terrible.
So you ready for the next one?
Yeah.
Rat torture.
Oh my gosh. People are tied up with rats, gonna eat them.
Well, yeah. But they're not tied up.
They're just in this little pin thing.
Once again, they had a thing with nudity. So once again, the condemned person would be stripped naked, and a small cage would be placed on their abdomen with an opening on the bottom on their abdomen and a rat inside.
The rat would eat its way out.
And so, to agitate the rat, they would set the top of the cage on fire so it would get hot. And then the only way he could get out was the soft skin. And so he would eat his way into the condemned person, eat the skin, the human skin and organs.
Yeah, you gotta
to get there.
So how long would that be?
About an hour. And how they would heat it up is with hot coals, or they would just set sticks on fire and set it on top of the cage.
So you just had to lay there and let it happen.
Yeah, he was tied down. You could not move. There was nothing you could do. You were restrained.
I'd be trying to figure out something.
People that were condemned to this torture had been charged either with murder or treason.
Wouldn't have been me.
So when you think of gridiron, what do you think of?
Chastity belts.
When I first
gridiron, right? Or is it that like the bird's cage thing locked over your head or something?
When I think of gridiron, I think of football. When I first read this,
say football, but I thought that's just a silly title of a movie.
Yeah, well, that's another nickname for football.
Oh, okay.
So basically, back in these days, the torture of being gridironed was like a big grill.
What, boiling them wasn't enough? Toss in some potatoes and carrots and have some stew. They're gonna grill them out, huh?
Well, occasionally you like to have some roasted meat.
Are they getting grilled or are they being roasted over a pit?
It's over a pit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because when you say grill, I'm thinking like a barbecue grill like we have.
Right, yeah, yeah. The gridiron would look kind of like the grate on my grill.
Okay.
and it would be laid over an open fire.
Yeah.
And hey there, Zoe, um, and burning coal. Now, on special occasions, the condemned person would be based in an oily substance first, just to intensify the heat.
Okay, so the special occasion. What would be the special occasion?
Oh, a treacherous crime like murder or
Okay.
speaking ill against the king, because we cannot do that.
I can play so dumb very well.
Picture in your mind.
Okay.
The brazen bull. And it's just kind of like maybe what you're picturing. It's a big golden statue of a bull with a door on the side.
Okay.
So the condemned person would be taken and thrown into the bull through that door, and then the door would be shut and locked. So they're trapped inside it.
What's inside there?
Nothing, just you.
But there was bodies in there.
Well, I don't know how well they cleaned them out.
Yeah, I don't think they did.
And after a little bit, you start to smell something.
Are they burning?
And you notice that your feet are burning.
Oh my God.
As they set fire to underneath the bull on the outside.
What is the freaking deal with burning?
They wanted to torture the people. The sculptor that created the brazen bull, King Phalaris, is the one that was like, okay, we need to come up with a new type of torture. So the sculptor makes the brazen bull, puts the door on it, and he goes, King, look what I've made, blah, blah, blah. And he's explaining it to him. And the king says, well, step inside and show it to me. So he climbs up there and gets inside. And then the king ordered his guard to close the door, and they set it afire. And the actual man that created the first brazen bull was also the first man murdered by the brazen bull. Now, like I said, the inside was hollow. And you know that as it started to heat, the victim would start to scream. With the hollowness of the inside, the acoustics would make it sound like the bull was actually roaring. So people were none the wiser. Sadistic. They've been sadistic for years. Now, you like pears, right?
What are they going to do with these pears? Poison them?
Oh.
Shove them up people?
This is the pear of anguish.
Okay, so there's two, not a pear, P-E-A-R.
Yeah, P-E-A-R, the pear
fruit
of anguish.
Okay. It's fruit. Don't get on to me if it's not.
It's not.
What is it then? Is it a vegetable?
It's a metal device.
Oh, I'll start
shaped like a pear.
Okay.
Hence the name pear of anguish.
Okay.
In this pear, Zoe, you're gonna have to quit.
Ours is loving.
Don't love me as much. Would then be forced into the mouth or the vagina or the anus of the condemned, and then it would be opened up.
Like blades or something in there. Chop them up from the inside. That would hurt in either bobo or vagina.
It would.
That's not what I want in there.
But it would be opened up slowly to cause greater pain.
Yeah.
Not just a fast and it's over, but slowly. Like they had a knob and they'd twist it.
Oh my
That's when it would open.
It would like stretch out your jaw, and then it's gonna cut up into your nose and into your teeth.
Could you just imagine it in the vajayjay?
No, or the bobos.
I don't have a vajayjay, but I just couldn't imagine it.
Well, imagine they went to the rear end for boys.
Maybe that's when they started the heinous truth.
I mean, so how? I mean, people didn't survive that.
50-50. It just depends on how quick they got you to get medical treatment. Yeah. And how long they want to just let you lay there and suffer.
And bleed.
Yeah.
It's terrible. These people are gross and demented.
Now, this next one would not cause death.
Just a lot of pain.
But it's still going to make you.
Is there spiders?
No, man. Nothing to do with spiders.
That would be torture for me. Like, yeah.
So this torture device was named thumb screws.
Ooh, is that where they put the?
They had a metal plate.
You put your thumb in it?
It had arms that went around the side on top and came down, and it had a hole in top. They'd put a screw in there, and either your thumb or your big toes, and they would tighten it.
I'd rather have the thumb.
Make it quick.
Yes.
Scholars over the years have debated if this was in fact during the medieval times, but it is still an interesting torture. It was also apparently used a lot during wartime to get POWs to talk.
Mm.
And it was not intended to cause death, but to get info.
Pain.
Yeah. The screw would be tightened to crush the digit. A variation would have, if they wanted to be more sadistic, a variation would have, instead of like a flat screw, it would have a sharp pointy screw in there. Cause pressure on the nail first, then it would be crushed, then the bleeding would start, and later, unless you went to talking, muscle and bone damage.
I think I would rather risk the loss of thumb.
Yeah, I ain't talking.
Over, an exploding pear in my mouth or butt or vagina. That would be terrible. All three.
Anywhere you want to put it. Or being boiled.
Boiled or whatever the other stuff is. That's just ridiculous.
I saved the best one for last.
This is the last
No,
one?
no, there's still several more. This next one was called the wheel.
Okay.
Doesn't sound too bad.
No, I think things are going to be thrown at them or it's going to be on fire or something with this wheel. This is not the Wheel of Fortune.
It is not the Wheel of Fortune. That is so true.
Or The Price is Right. So
the victim would have both arms and legs broken.
Oh my gosh.
And then they would be tied to a wheel.
Okay.
And rolled down a large, uneven, bumpy, rocky, thorny hill. The victim was usually dead when they reached the bottom, but if not,
they soon will be.
They carried him back up to the top and started the process over again. Saint Catherine of Alexandria was probably the most known person to be executed by the wheel for failing to renounce her Christian faith. And so for a while it was known as St. Catherine's Wheel.
Whoa.
Yeah. The rack.
Was that the one where they would lay you on it and then they just stretch you out?
They would tie your hands above your head, tie your feet, and then they'd have, again, kind of like the kill hauling, they'd have a pulley system, and it would pull the ropes apart.
Nice. And then like your shoulders and hips would be popped out of place and just kept pulling.
The Punisher would start rolling and severe damage to the limbs and joints would ensue. In some cases, the limbs would even be torn off.
Oh my gosh.
On occasion, the torturer would also light underneath the rack on fire. There they go back to the fire.
Why didn't they just kill them?
Well,
it would not be as easy. I mean, just kill them.
They wanted them to suffer. And people now say that the way we execute condemned is barbaric.
Oh my gosh, no, it's not.
You basically go to sleep.
Flipping not barbaric.
Yeah. Now this.
No. Gas, electrocution, that's bordering on medieval torture to me.
Exactly.
Just kidding.
This next one was for you ladies only.
Oh my gosh, we're not sitting and spinning, are we?
Oh, no. You may be afterwards. I will introduce you to the breast ripper.
Oh my
gosh. Easily the most unnerving devices of torture.
How many women got their boobies cut off?
I didn't see that. I didn't see that information.
Why?
It was a long metal tool that had 2 pointed claws on each end. So 4 claws.
It's just gonna rip it out.
The torturer would heat up the tool and use it to rip the breast off of women. You asked why. I'm glad you asked why. It was not usually, it was women that had been accused of witchcraft.
Accused.
Extramarital sex.
Like all the other people wasn't doing that.
Or having an abortion.
How many other people had that done?
Exactly.
They just were the unlucky ones that had it done. So does it say how many probably had this done?
Well, it was several. Some variations even added spikes inside for added torture. And I say it was several because the Ripper was used from the 1300s up into the 1700s.
Why can't we use that on men who are raping children and babies?
That is an amazing question.
What did they do with them people?
Well, I didn't see anything that's go around, but there are still several of the torture devices that I did not see. So I'm going to be at some point in time revisiting this, and I'll look for some specific for men.
What about them wife beaters?
Yeah.
Did they produce anything about them? Probably not.
They probably got put out. What's that deal with the hands and heads in the stockade? Yeah. Our ghost just visited us.
And it's freaking men's fault.
Most of it wasn't men's fault on the witchcraft.
Well,
you women started that crap.
But pregnancies? I'm pretty sure they didn't know much about birth control back then.
No, so condoms weren't around yet.
What were they supposed to do?
Abstain. But yet they were told to go forth and populate the world, so damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Men have habits of just taking what they want. And then it's like, you're just property, so it really doesn't matter. That one, I want to do that to somebody's ying.
Y'all pray for me.
Like, let me show you.
I'll be a good boy.
I'm just
I know, it's so hard. It's horrible. So let's move on to China. Ling Qi. It was also called slow cutting or death by 1,000 cuts.
Okay, by cuts, are you talking about they're just slitting your skin, or are they like taking fillets out of you and cooking it or something?
It started in 7th century China during the Tang Dynasty and lasted up into the 1900s. So this one had some staying power.
Whoa!
Yeah, this one had staying power.
Is that like where you pour honey in it and watch the ants come after you?
Mm-mm. This was a capital punishment against those found guilty of treason and murder. The condemned would be tied to a pole, and the executioner would start making cuts, usually on the chest area,
Okay.
and would not move to another area until he saw tissue and bones. And then he'd go down and do the same thing.
They ain't slitting. They're cutting.
They're just doing little cuts.
Look, that's a deep cut.
Well, but they keep doing it. I mean, they're making little cuts, but they keep doing it till they see the tissue and bones all over your body. So they may go over the same area 2 or 3 times and just do little cuts each time.
Ouch.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, please don't. That's out. You know what? That it kept people from murdering other people.
Or being treasonous.
Yes. Like you don't talk to people, certain people.
You know when they would finally stop doing this to the condemned?
When there was no other places to cut?
When they died. They just keep, they just go on down the body. But this was a quick one, because they usually died from blood loss within 15 to 30 minutes.
But can you just start right here at that artery right there? Let me help you.
I'll point out.
Yeah, cut it the long way.
Now, this next one was a great band back in the 80s, maybe late 70s into the 80s.
Oh.
The Iron Maiden.
Okay, I remember that name.
This was a coffin-like structure that had spikes on the inside.
Yeah. They show that on Sleepy Hollow.
Oh, they do. Oh, we need to watch Sleepy Hollow.
Oh my! It's gonna be on TV.
We don't have. Well, it's packed up, ready to move.
Or it's at our daughter's house.
Clique. Victims were forced inside, and as the door closed, faced an excruciating impalement.
Well, yes.
The cold embrace of the Iron Maiden remains etched in history as a symbol of unrelenting agony.
Well, yeah, because you can't move.
Mm-mm.
And those spikes are just holding you there, so you literally bled to death.
I love how they called it a cold embrace. You think of an embrace, you're thinking of a nice hug.
Not with them spikes.
Mm-mm. So when you think of a cradle, you think of a baby, laying in their little bed, right?
They probably killed kids like this too.
So the next one we're going to discuss.
Did you find out anything about that? If they did kids?
Is the Judas cradle. This involved lowering the victim onto a sharp, pyramided shaped seat.
A sharp? Like they pokey things up the butt? Well, cheeks and legs.
Yeah, the condemned would be suspended above.
Okay.
But then their own weight would cause them to slowly come down on the seat.
Oh, like in that Indiana Jones movie where they would put them people in that thing and then it would lower them down, but then it would flip them up and they're standing up or whatever.
I think so, pretty much.
Until it was lowered down to whatever was down there.
Yeah. Well, this one was a sharp pyramid-shaped seat that would go straight up the anus slowly. It would eventually force the point into the body. The Iron Maiden symbolized both physical and psychological torment.
How can none of them do that? I mean,
any of them would.
Yeah, that's what I was meaning to say. This is just terrible.
Right now, we are moving on to the Heretic's Fork.
The Heretic's Fork. I'm picturing something like a pitchfork, and they're gonna pitch you.
Well, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
But not?
This was a diabolical device of impalement.
Okay.
So, you got the impalement part. It featured two sharp pointed forks. Okay, so one on each end, like one here, one here.
Oh, like.
Yeah, like two of them. There's four total, but two.
Oh, like on the end of a pole?
Think of like two forks welded together, butt to butt.
Okay.
Okay? And it had a strap around it. One end of the sharp pointed forks would go under the chin and the other into the sternum.
Oh, so you better keep your head up because your head would push down and then it would push into your. Oh my gosh.
Bingo. It prevented sleep and induced perpetual agony because, who's going to go to sleep and impale
Well, if the people were
themselves?
smart enough, they would just really fast and get it over with.
Exactly. This was very popular during inquisitions to get information out of people.
Wasn't that iron coffin thing too?
The Iron Maiden.
Maiden.
Yeah.
And then they will pull you apart.
Torture rack. Mm-hmm. Favorite device of the ruthlessness during interrogations and also the suppression of the dissent. So you don't want to be a deserter because you're going to get the heretic for it.
Oh my gosh.
So we've finally made it to the last one. You haven't thrown up yet, so I'm proud of you. And I told you I saved probably the most cruel for last.
Oh my gosh. The most cruel you saved for last?
Molten gold.
Is this where they did like they did to Han Solo? Carbonizing, but in gold?
Not really.
Okay. Dang it.
It was simple, effective, and extremely cruel.
Poured it down inside them?
The victim would be tied,
Well, duh. You don't want them to fight you.
their mouth forced open and held open, and molten gold would be poured down their mouth.
Why would you want to waste gold? Would they get it back? I bet they would get it back.
It's
They're dead.
you have to wait a couple days. Oh wait, yeah.
I don't think they're gonna poop it out.
Yeah. It caused severe damage to organs and blistered the lungs, and that's what would kill them, because their lungs would be blistered.
Well, yeah, they couldn't breathe. It's suffocating them.
Exactly. I can remember
Having just some
interruptions.
Yeah.
Sam coming in and asking what's for supper after he knew we were recording. Dogs barking. Good Lord. If anybody's listening to us, it's a wonder. We do. And but
studio.
we don't. Anybody with the studio want to hook us up? We ain't got no studio.
We got a kitchen table.
I remember as a kid watching a movie. I don't remember the movie, but in this one scene, there was a boat and there were people on there that was fighting. And this one guy, it was a group of like 4 or 5 people all together fighting. And this one guy grabs a coffee pot and he has this other guy on the ground and he's pouring the coffee into it. And I was 8, maybe. Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking, man, that guy really don't like coffee. I wasn't thinking about it being hot coffee and being forced down his mouth.
Burning?
Mm-hmm. I think I would rather have that than the molten gold. So that is it for this round of medieval torture devices. I figure I need to go ahead and cut it off now so Teach can be like, before we do another round of them. Another round of them. So my bibliography for this week, thecollector.com, Brutal Ways to Die in the Ancient World, timesofIndia.com, Most Brutal Medieval Torture Devices, interestingengineering.com, 7 Brutal Torture Devices from the Dark Ages, history.com, 7 Famous Torture Devices, and Britannica.com, Cruel and Unusual Punishments, 15 Types of Torture.
Now, do they have replicas of these places?
Like photos? Yes.
Well, I'm sure they have them in museums. Did they find any, like, real ones?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. This was just disturbing.
Thank you. I mean, that's what I was supposed to do, right? Yeah. So, Teach, what is my score for this week?
I'm thinking I'll just give A's though. So until I say, yeah, that was crap, they're A's because you did a really good job.
I have loved this stuff since I was a kid. I don't know why.
Because you're demented?
I told you that I took that one test on Facebook, and if it's on Facebook, it's got to be true.
It's got to be real.
That showed that I could be a serial killer. I can remember as a kid sitting in class at William B. Travis Elementary at 2300 Primrose Lane here in Pampa, Texas, and thinking of ways like if I was mad at a friend, man, I can't wait till I can drive. I'm going to knock them out. I'm going to tie their legs to my car. I'm going to tie their arms to a steel pole, and I'm going to take off driving. So I was coming up with my own torture acts. If there's any psychologists out there.
Yeah, I have no words.
So, I mean,
you're just weird.
Well, you're not the first person to say that.
So should we get like annuals from there and start hunting back school?
Where's this guy at now?
Yeah, and like hunt them down. And if they died under mysterious causes, I'm going to turn them in.
I don't blame you. Did I say this was episode 42?
There's a number on top of your paper.
Well, I know. I think I said 42 a while ago, but it's actually 43.
All right. You ready for next?
What am I reporting on next week, Peach?
Paranormal.
Paranormal. Awesome. 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 Well.
Do you already have an idea about that one?
I do.
Cool.
I am excited. I can't wait to do it.
Awesome.
It's been a while since we've done a paranormal.
It has. The Vivid Box.
That scared you.
That still freaks me out.
I'm surprised we still have ours.
It's not a Dybbuk box.
Isn't it?
Nope. It is not. You know what is so weird?
What's weird?
I was scrolling through Facebook, like garage sales or for sale stuff, and then people will have like wooden boxes, and I'm like, no, no, Dybbuk box. It'll have carvings, and I'm like, no, ain't happening.
How funny. Well, classmate, this will come out on Sunday, the day before Labor Day. So, Teach and I hope that y'all are having a great Labor Day weekend. And if you are having to work, then you're the reason why there's a Labor Day, because of work.
Yep.
We thank y'all for listening, and we'll be back next week with a paranormal case.
Normal. I'm hoping to get scared.
Me too. Somebody message me and give me a recommendation. I mean, I've got an idea of what to do, but if I get a good recommendation, I'll take it. All right. Love y'all. Thank you.
Class is dismissed.